Well, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the 31 Days of Horror. I am your host, Mood616, and thank you once again for stopping in, guys. Yeah, welcome back to day 2 here on the 31 Days of Horror. And I've got one here from Japan. Production from 2014, just came out on home media in 2016, courtesy of Kino on the Redemption Line, which is a very interesting choice of film to release because they've never released any contemporary titles on the Redemption Line, and they've never released any Asian titles. So that's what you get here. You get a contemporary Asian film, and it is called Mei-chan's Daily Life, Bloody Carnival Resistance, the movie. That is right. This is actually based off an early 2000s manga comic book series in Japan. And I'm very intrigued to actually find out more, or to even read those comics and stuff based on the storyline that's provided here in the film. It's kind of a crazy storyline for like a Magnum, but I guess it is what it is. But the storyline here is basically about this young girl. She takes a job as a live-in maid in this big mansion. She's introduced to a person named Mei-chan. She's like the head live-in maid there. Now, the interesting thing about being a live-in maid in this mansion is that the owners basically use these maids as to fulfill their sexual and violent erotic desires with them and stuff. So yeah, and that's pretty much what the storyline is to the film. Now, my thoughts on this one. Now, this film right here is way more low budget than I was ever anticipating it to be. Now, it's not really the reason why I am going to say that I didn't really care for this film. Yeah, it was really, really low budget. It's just the fact that this movie only runs about 63 minutes, so it doesn't allow itself to have any development whatsoever. What we get here is we're introduced to the owners very, very modestly. We don't really get to know a lot about them and things like that. So, and it just kind of gets into, their sexual acts and what they do with these maids and things like that. The interesting thing about Mei-chan's character is that her character, once she's subjected to violent torture and whatever she's subjected to, she actually can regenerate herself from it. So if she has like her eye ripped out or she's cut in half or whatever, she can regenerate herself. So I think that's kind of a cool idea, but there's no actual build up to this film. It's super low budget. It really shows its budget constraints. There's supposed to be, maids in this huge mansion. And the thing is, it appears that they're like maids in this apartment. It's very, very low budget. It's actually kind of comical at times. Now, the interesting thing about this film, I think it's more of a homage film to the silent era too. With the transitions and stuff, the way the headers are, it tells you right there, chapter 1, chapter 2, along with the music and things like that. It's very much a homage to like the silent days of cinema and stuff. But just on a real big budget. I have to say, not a big fan of the editing in this film. I wasn't a very big fan of the cinematography either. A lot of very awkward angles and things like that. The transitions were horrible in this film. I thought it was just edited atrociously. The acting was really bad, and the music was also very, very annoying in this. Thank God it was only 63 minutes, because I was having a really rough time getting through this one. But I will say the last 15 minutes of the film were kind of enjoyable. You get this really kind of violent, bloody, gory scene involving, the head lady and, the main character. And Mei-chan, she just gets destroyed in this film. It's pretty vicious and stuff like that. And actually, I have to say, there's one scene in this film, or during that scene, that's very interesting. I've never seen a chick fist another chick's stomach, like, in a sexual manner. I have to say that was pretty crazy, but overall, man, this one is just a very, very slow kind of like almost torture-ish watch. It's very not great at all. There's really no technical aspects of this film that are redeemable. Like I said, cinematography is terrible, and it was really tough to watch, man. I mean, watching these main characters where there's no development with them, it was making it laughable because the interactions with them and the other characters, there's like no emotion in the scenes. There's things that are happening, people are getting chopped up, things are happening, and they're just kind of like just staring at shit. Like, there's no emotion. There should be more emotion in these scenes. If something's happening, like someone's getting their eye dug out of their head and stuff, you think you'd be reacting a little differently in things. There's just, the acting in this film is just beyond atrocious, man. But really, not a lot more to say about this one, man. I do like the idea of this film, of these owners using their maids as, you know, to fulfill their erotic desires and things like that. I like the premise of it. It's just not executed well at all. Like, in fact, the execution is just pathetic. It's really, really pathetic. If I had to rate this film, I'm going to give this one about a 2 out of 10. It is really, really that atrocious. Definitely don't check this one. Definitely the worst film on the redemption line. And that is going to do it for day 2 here on the 31 Days of Horror. I will check you guys out tomorrow. And as usual, peace!